And once again, welcome back to Quick Questions for Lent. Eli is going to get us started this time.
It says there seems to be a theme about banquets, invitations, and guests of honor. What is Jesus getting at? You could tell the entire story of the Bible using a dinner party from beginning to end. God is all about food and meeting with people around a table, the communion table, the banquet at the end of all things. God wants us to realize that we are built for relationships with Him, with each other, and a lot of relationships are best illustrated around a meal. So that's what Jesus is getting at.
In Luke chapter 13, Jesus says, work hard to enter the narrow door to God's kingdom. I thought we didn't have to work for it. What is he teaching here? Work does not equal salvation. We believe we're saved by grace through faith, and our work shows that we get it. So Jesus isn't saying you have to do the stuff to get in. He's saying when you own your faith, work might just flow out of you, and that is going to open those doors wide open.
Also in Luke chapter 13, Jesus tells a story called the parable of the barren fig tree. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't seem like it is really making any kind of point at all, so why is it in there? If you know your Old Testament prophetic imagery, the fig tree often represents the nation of Israel, and so Jesus is making a point about the faithfulness of the people of Israel and what might happen to them if they are not faithful.
So this question, what am I supposed to take away from the book of Judges? It feels messy. And I want to be very careful here and very precise. So this Old Testament book of Judges was not intended to be written down as a book of historical fact, although that's how we want to read things, and we want it to be factually or historically accurate. Judges was written down to be a series of mythologies to help communicate important lessons for God's people. Now, when we hear mythology, we think it's fake, but that's not true. There are things that can be true even if they aren't historically factual, and I'm sure some things come to your mind that are the same in our day. So when you read the book of Judges, you're reading morality tales that are important characters for us to learn things from, and that's how they would teach their children and learn about wisdom from these characters in the book of Judges.
My question kind of builds on that. There's just a lot of weird stuff. An example, Jephthah, I don't even know how to say his name. Is that how you'd say it? Sure. He gives his daughter as a burnt offering. Samson ties 300 fox tails together and lights them on fire. It's just weird. What are we supposed to do with this? Well, when it comes to Jephthah and his giving his daughter as a burnt offering, God doesn't want our spiritual deals. He makes a deal with God that the first thing that comes out of his house, he will give as a burnt offering. And I think what we learn is God doesn't care about our deals. He actually cares about our obedience to him and how we follow him and love him.
Also from Judges, which is one of my favorite books, by the way.
Mine too.
It's weird about me.
Yeah, fascinating.
But I want to read how it ends. In those days, Israel had no king. All the people did whatever seemed right in their own eyes. So when Eli says, read through this as a morality, like how does morality actually play out in a society, in relationships, in families, in our relationship with God? So the crazy things you read, Judges 19 has another example of just awful, violent, gross things that are happening. Why is it in there? This is imagery to show us. And in between this period of time where you've got Moses and Joshua as these big leaders, and a period of time where it's going to be the kings, how do we want a society to be led? And the answer is not everybody doing whatever seems right in their own eyes. It leads to terrible, terrible things.
Thanks for being here.